Thank you. Welcome to all of you in the audience and those of you online, those of you who might be participating at another time. This is the Weber County Board of Commissioner meeting on this Monday evening, the 7th of October. This is a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners where we'll talk tonight about the Recreation, Arts, Museum, and Parks tax and the renewal of that said tax. So with that, I'd like to request a motion to adjourn the public meeting and convene a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
With that, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, perfect. This is a public hearing regarding Proposition 19, RAMP, which is Recreation, Arts, Museum, and Parks, RAMP tax renewal being placed on the ballot for November 2024, the election ballot. The background is in 2004, the residents of Weber County, that's 20 years ago, the residents of Weber County approved a 0.1% sales tax, or 1 penny on $10, to fund botanical, cultural, recreational, and zoological organizations and facilities. This tax, referred to as the Recreation, Arts, Museum, and Parks RAMP tax, is authorized under Code 59-12-703, subsection 4, subsection A, I, B, which can be levied for 10 years. In 2014, the Weber County voters renewed, or 10 years later, they voted to renew the RAMP tax for an additional 10 years, with the current term set to expire. Now 2024, it's time for that again. The current proposal is the Weber County Commission has authorized the submission of an optional question to voters on the November 5th, 2024 general election ballot. The question asks whether the 0.1% sales tax should be renewed for another 10 years to continue funding the RAMP programs. Since the RAMP tax's inception in 2004, 20 years ago, the average Weber County household has paid about $12 a year, or $1 per month, to support parks, recreational spaces, botanical gardens, arts, museum, and free RAMP Saturdays. With that tax, with the tax funds, the RAMP tax provides financial support to a wide variety of community resources in Weber County, including public parks and recreational spaces, botanical gardens and cultural institutions, zoological organizations and facilities. The decision for voters. The voters will be asked whether they support the renewal of this 0.1% sales tax for an additional 10 years. The tax applies to the qualifying purchases made within Weber County, and it's intended to continue to support the enhancement and maintenance of recreational, cultural, and zoological assets in the community. For more information, please go to our website under the Weber County Commission. You can drop that down, and it's just under webercountyutah.gov, RAMP tax renewal, and you'll be able to find that. With that, Ms. Shelley Hallisey, who manages that program for us, if you'd come up, Ms. Hallisey.
Thank you, Commissioners. I think my name is on here first so that I can be the first to say that RAMP is amazing. And I am so excited to be here, and I'm super excited to be the RAMP director.
Pull that mic down if you would, please. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I just want to share a few things about RAMP, what makes it so wonderful. First of all, I had a wedding this weekend where people were coming in from all over, and they kept saying, "We see these RAMP signs everywhere." And when I explained what they were wishing they had this in their communities. So I think it's amazing that people from outside of Weber County see what it does, but what's even more exciting is that people inside of Weber County get to experience what RAMP is. Since the beginning of RAMP time, when we started granting in 2006, we have given over $66,738,926 in RAMP grants. Along with that, we ask...
I'm sorry, would you state that number one more time? It's a big number.
It's a big number. $66,738,926.
Nearly $67 million in the last 20 years have been given to local communities for recreation, arts, museum, and parks.
Correct.
Thank you.
On top of that, we ask that people that are applying for RAMP come in with a match. So if you add, We request that they try to come up with a 50% match. A lot of them do. So if you add that to that amount, it's an incredible amount of money that RAMP helps bring into Weber County. Over 120 nonprofit organizations and municipalities have been able to create amazing projects and programs in Weber County. We have horses everywhere that you can see this time of year. We have plays, we have parks, trails, oh my goodness, artwork, I could just go on and on. RAMP is amazing and I'm so proud to be a part of it. And I really encourage our voters to vote for approval of that again. If you have any questions?
Does that conclude your presentation?
That concludes. That's just my hurrah for RAMP.
We're lucky to have the chair of the acting chair of the RAMP committee, Mr. Kevin Burns. Mr. Burns, would you mind coming forward and putting in maybe 3 cents, not just 2?
Well, thank you, Commissioner. I wasn't sure I was anticipating speaking tonight, but thank you for the opportunity to talk about how wonderful RAMP is for our community. I've been a part of the RAMP board now for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, I can't remember. And having the opportunity to work with them and help disperse that money has been a lot of fun. But it's really amazing to go around our community and see the things that have taken place that wouldn't have been able to, those projects that wouldn't be completed without this money. I last week had the opportunity to go to South Ogden and attend their open house or their ribbon cutting for their new skate park, and that is an amazing facility. I've spent some time, and I live in North Ogden, and I know there's plenty of parks in North Ogden that have benefited from RAMP funds, but like the Smith Family Park out in Far West, if you haven't had the opportunity to wander around that's a really cool park that probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to be what it is without the countywide support. And just as we get down through the smaller cities that just don't have the opportunity to fund some of the things. I know Hooper has some pretty cool pickleball courts. There's a lot of pickleball courts in Weber County that are part of RAMP. So I just appreciate the opportunity, appreciate all the support that the commissioners give us when it comes to RAMP. And I joked with Commissioner Harvey at a ribbon cutting one afternoon. This is probably the only tax I could support 100% tax increase on. Go from 1 penny to 2. But the county's grown quite a bit in the 20 years that RAMP has been a part of it, and there are a lot of people that benefit. The big project that I'm pretty excited that we're part of is the Marshall White refurb down there. That's the rebuild. That's pretty cool. That's a great project for our entire county. So thank you very much. Any questions of me as part of RAMP?
Commissioner Spolos, Commissioner Frohr, any questions?
No questions.
Gosh, appreciate it. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. You mentioned the Marshall White Center, but for those who attend Pioneer Days Rodeo, that's been a big thing down there at the Pioneer Stadium. There are countless other, I'm glad you mentioned the park, the Jim Smith Park out in Far West, but whether it's Washington Terrace, Roy, whether it's Hooper, whether it's South Ogden, nearly every community has enjoyed, in fact, every community has enjoyed funds from the RAMP program that betters their communities, and everyone pays into it. It's really been a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, great. We have a couple of people online that want to comment, but before we go to them, I'm going to go to item number 3 on our agenda, which are public comments. For those who are online or in person, if you'd please limit your comments to 3 minutes and keep them focused on our topic, which is the RAMP. And so for those of you, out of courtesy, for those of you in the room, would like to hear from you first. Are there any in the room that would like to comment? If you do come up, if you'd state your name and the city you're from.
Sherry Bingham, Hooper City. A few things I'd like to say about how wonderful RAMP is. I've been involved in a number of ways. I've been involved of helping to write grants for both Hooper City and West Haven. And one thing that I can tell you about the RAMP program, because I've also served on the advisory board, is it doesn't matter how small or how large your city is, or how large or how small your project is. All of those are evaluated and given the same consideration when it comes to the RAMP funding. And they fund a lot of variety of programs which they have already stated. And again, it is sometimes projects that wouldn't be able to have the funding if they did not receive the ramp. So it doesn't matter whether it's a downtown project in downtown Ogden or it's a small town Halloween haunt that they have in Hooper City. Another way that I have seen all of the positiveness of the ramp program is with my grandchildren attending programs on Saturdays. And as they've gone to these free ramp Saturdays and attended all these programs, it is just a wonderful program, and it requires so little from all of the residents. And so I would just like to recommend, and anybody that has a chance to vote, please vote yes to continue the ramp program, because it is a program that we could not replicate if we do not have this funding. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you, Mayor.
Trying not to rush. Get somebody else's way.
Ken Pippin, Mayor, Far West City. I want to basically give my whole full-throated appreciation for this. Ramp is awesome. I was thinking as I was sitting back there, what would this county even look like without ramp? We wouldn't have Smith Family Park. There's so many parks we wouldn't have. Just over the weekend, I was up at the Northern Utah Trail Fest, and I happened to notice on the thing a great big ramp symbol on there. So it's everywhere. It's appreciated. And I don't know how we're going to do without it if we don't have it. I just don't. So, got to have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay. Next. Down there.
Don't giggle. I'm Sharon Bullos, resident of West Haven, and I want to speak as a former mayor in West Haven and council member. West Haven has enjoyed the benefits of ramp over the entire time that I served there, and I think that every year we had the conversation of what we were going to apply to help fund, and we were always able to come to the table with generous matches, which we were proud of. But there are cities in our county that don't have that kind of money, and I think they might appreciate ramp even more than we did in West Haven. But I too have noticed all the ramp signs throughout the county wherever you go, and I'm glad that that's part of the contract. That's part of the obligation that recipients have, is to post that it was partially funded by ramp, because I think it helps the public understand. I just want to speak with my support of ramp and hope that the voters who consider this will vote to renew ramp. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Christopher Crockett. I'm from Mantua, Utah. I wanted to speak in support of RAMP. I have the privilege of being legal advisor to that organization. The committee that evaluates all the applications, it's a community-run program. We have representatives from all over the county representing various interests, and they come together, and what they do is miraculous. They make this place a better place to live, and I'm being serious about that. I go home and I love where I live, and I'm hoping to bring RAMP to Box Elder one day, but I seriously admire and want to be a part of Weber County because of the RAMP program and the quality, how it improves the quality of life of so many people. I do have a suggestion, if the commission feels like it's appropriate. It is factual, it's not one way or the other, but it would be helpful, in my opinion, to publish a list of all organizations that the RAMP program has funded for the last 10 years, and perhaps also pick out some notable projects and put that on the website so that the public could be educated about the types of projects the RAMP tax is going towards. So that would just be a suggestion of mine. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any others in person that would like to make comments? Hearing or seeing none, we'll now go to those online. Are there any online that would like to make comments?
We have people online, but they're not raising their hand.
No, there is one. Miss Jackson, go ahead. Please unmute if you would.
There we go.
We can hear you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I would also like to speak in support of RAMP. I appreciate, first of all, from the commissioner for his direction to the voters of Weber County to check on vote.utah.gov for official information. I think that's a good idea for anybody, whether or not, they've already made up their mind about supporting an issue or a candidate. That information is going to be very helpful for anyone considering a tax increase. I think about the purposes of taxes, one of which comes to mind, which is public libraries, and that really benefits everybody. Whether or not you go to a library, the information that people glean from the library resources is going to benefit the community at large. And this is another tax, the RAMP tax, that I can think of that it behaves in the same way to benefit everybody in the entire county, no matter where you live, and even people outside the county. Recreation, arts, museum, and parks is that's so many things. It's golf, it's tennis courts, pickleball courts, it's concerts and theater, dance, the dinosaur park, the rodeo, the Pioneer Days rodeo, as was stated before, the treehouse, playgrounds. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And what I love most of all is that it encompasses so many cultures. So people who are familiar with cultures are enjoying things that they love already, and people who are unfamiliar are able to have exposure to a lot of different people. This program has funded so many, or this tax has funded so many programs that, of course, just further the relationships of families as they can participate in these activities together. Of course, my kids love things. They love the dinosaur park. They love the Saturdays in the summer. There's so many things that really help the bond of family members and just people in general. I think that cannot be understated, the value of those relationships. $12 a household per year. As I understand it, it's a sales tax, in which case that would mean if all of this money came from in-county. That means if no one from out of the county comes to Riverdale to shop or dine, to recreate in a way, or make purchases from the food court on the Weber State campus. So this is a sales tax that's, I would say, a maximum, an average of $12 a household per year. It's probably less because people from outside the county come in. I mean, the value is just so tremendous. It's really, really impressive. The signs are everywhere. I love when I see a green and white ramp sign, and I'm just like, there's another one. And I think it's really helpful for residents of the county and people who are coming into the county to notice those signs. As Commissioner Bowles was saying, as a matter of fact, before, is that can help people just to realize what an impact that this tax does, and really the impact that the simple tax dollar has in this way, because the amount of money that has come from this, and just with the matches and the programs produced, they're ongoing, and their impact is felt forever. It's something that I think Weber County should be proud of, as something that they have, grown from the ground up, and that people coming from outside the county can look at and just be really, really impressed with Weber County. I was afraid to hear that it was on the ballot. I thought, oh, we could possibly lose this. I think that would be an absolute tragedy. And so I would encourage everyone to do their research and see really how this has benefited them and how it benefits everybody around them, to make an informed decision and to vote for the rail tax again.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Will you again state your city where you're calling from?
Yes, Roy.
Thank you. Any others online that would like to comment? Seeing none, then, Commissioners, I'm going to take us to item number 4, which is a request for a motion to adjourn a public hearing and reconvene a public meeting.
So moved, Mr.
Second.
Chair.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
My motion carries. Perfect. So item number 5 is action on the public hearing, where no action is required. But, Mr. Crockett, can you just give us the background on that? No action is required. We just need to satisfy the code, correct?
Correct. The issue is placed on the ballot. This is a hearing to inform the public. There's nothing for you to do. You've done your duty.
Thank you. Please, thank you for those of you who made comments this evening. Thank you so much for caring enough about our community and the moving forward of our community. We really appreciate that. And with that, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion for the final action item.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.